What's up, guys? Welcome back to Comic Corner, and if you guys guessed right, last video, it's obviously Original Sin, one of the more mystery type, more exciting, and a breath of fresh air Marvel events that we haven't seen from a while, so let's jump right into it. Be warned, guys, this event has a lot of retconning, and it does a really wonderful job at it that makes you feel that it's been a part of it throughout the entire Marvel history. But it does have retconning, so spoilers ahead, obviously. But before we start, I want to talk about this quick side story that happens with Nova and the Watcher. And it's basically Nova, is kind of like this accomplice to the Watcher. And he wants to find out if his dad is still alive or not. And it takes, a turn for like the best for Nova's character, and we get to see him sort of like talk to the Watcher, and the Watcher unravels his mind to Nova, and you see all the sequence of events that Watcher records and archives in his history. So I thought that was a cool aspect that we see, and he finally tells Nova that his dad is alive. So in that sense, Nova on a trip and an adventure to go find his father. So I thought that was a really cool thing. As we open up, we see these ominous thieves, these two men dressed in these astronaut-like suits, breaking into the Watcher's lair and downloading and stealing archives from the Watcher. Some might be memories. One of the memories that really stuck out was Age of Ultron, so I thought that was really cool. So with that happening, then we next see this mystery person saying, "Turn around," and then boom, the Watcher's lair explodes. It almost erupts, and then we go back to Earth where we see Nick Fury, Black Widow, Iron Man, Captain America, and Wolverine eating dinner. They're having steak, and they're talking about, Captain America's talking about the best steak was in World War II or something like that. It was a really pointless side conversation. They get a call from Thor saying that the Watcher's been killed. They arrive at the scene of the deceased body of the Watcher, and he's got a missing eye and a bullet through his head. And this leads to a bigger investigation where they call more heroes. Two of the heroes being the Thing and Spider-Man, who are fighting these creatures called the Mindless Ones. And what these creatures are is they're these extraterrestrial beings that obviously mindless, but one of them has the ultimate nullifier, which is one of the weapons in the Watcher's lair. So we're kind of getting hints and hints of more clues of who might be killing the Watcher. And what we later find out is, like, in space, Doctor Strange and the Punisher, they found gamma radiated bullets inside these dead creatures in space on different planets. Gamma radiated bullets, like, killing alien races. So there's someone who is killing these races, someone who is protecting Earth, you might say. We later find out that Stark has exposed the location of these mysterious villains that they finally get revealed as the Orb, which is this lame D-list villain who Jason Aaron has created in the Spider-Man series. Dr. Midas, he kind of looks like the Thing. He has the Midas touch. He's an Iron Man villain, and Exterminatrix, which I'm not very fond of. But anyways, when the heroes eventually end up incapacitating Dr. Midas and Exterminatrix, the Orb lifts up the Watcher's eye, and everybody starts to become disoriented and distracted. Basically what the Watcher's eye does, it's the ultimate retconning device. Yay! So it's kind of like revealing the past of heroes that they didn't know about themselves. So Spider-Man finds out that someone else got bitten by that radioactive spider in 1962, and Bruce Banner finds out that Tony Stark is responsible for him becoming the Incredible Hulk, and we find out that Thor has a sister, but the only one that doesn't become disoriented or distracted is Nick Fury, and he takes the Watcher's eye from Orb, and Orb becomes isolated in like jail and shit, and he has the Watcher's eye now. And basically what the Watcher's eye kind of like corrupts people with power and shit, And back on space, we find out that Gamora and Black Panther are becoming suspicious of Winter Soldier because he knows where all these dead creatures are, and so they're like wondering, like, because the Watcher was killed by a gamma irradiated bullets. So with that being said, Winter Soldier escapes, like blows up their ship that they were flying in, and he arrives, like he kind of teleports to where the Nick Fury is, where he has the Watcher's eye, kills Nick Fury, chops off his fucking head. It's ridiculous. It's crazy how things take a turn for the worse. So automatically, everybody suspects Winter Soldier is the murderer of the Watcher. And what ends up happening is Winter Soldier is the only one that, you know, who had the common sense to put together that that's not Nick Fury. And what ends up happening is that Nick Fury was a life model decoy. Now, if you're familiar with the Marvel Universe, Nick Fury uses a ton of life model decoys in his past. He did it in Secret War, if you watch my review in that, and plenty of other times in Marvel events. So, what we really find out is that Nick Fury reveals himself, and he's really old. He's got a cane. He's dying, and the reason why he's dying is because he's ran out of the Infinity Formula. And what the Infinity Formula is kind of like the Super Soldier Serum. It kind of keeps you younger. That's what's helped Captain America sort of stay younger throughout the years. And so he's run out of that, and he's kind of depicted as misunderstood as the bad guy because, you know, he's killed the Watcher, but for a good reason. The Watcher set it up. So he needs somebody else to become the man on the wall. And this is where we see Nick Fury's backstory get revealed and why he's been killing these creatures. Why did he kill the Watcher? It's all explained here. And what ends up happening is back in 1952, while there was a war going on between aliens and shit, there's this guy named the Man on the Wall. And what he does is he kills any threats or maybe possible threats that are going to attack or threaten people on Earth. And he kills them by using gamma irradiated bullets. So the dude ends up dying, and Nick Fury ends up having this responsibility because he died in Nick Fury's arms, and he needs to make sure no alienated threats come to Earth and destroy it or take over it, you know? So he ends up taking up that Man on the Wall mantle for all these years. Who knows how long the real Nick Fury has not been with the Avengers. It could have just been a life model decoy for over decades and upon decades. And one really cool aspect that I thought they touched on was Nick Fury's about to kill this next threat to Earth, and he doesn't end up killing, and who it is it's Spider-Man. So he doesn't end up killing Spider-Man because he's like, there's something special about this guy, something unique. Maybe he's going somewhere, because the reason why he was going to kill him is because he's radioactive and he might be a threat to Earth. So I thought that was a cool aspect that they touched on. He's like, he was about to kill Spider-Man, holy shit, back in 1962 or whatever. But yeah, so Nick Fury has been the Man on the Wall, protecting Earth from extraterrestrial threats. So I thought that was a cool aspect, but he's old now, and he needs somebody else to take up the mantle. And what ends up happening is they get into this awesome fight because the heroes are kind of oblivious to what's happening. They fight Nick Fury. Nick Fury has this awesome like space suit that he fights them with. He ends up like defeating Thor. Like he whispers to Thor this subliminal message, and it sends Thor's hammer crashing into the moon, and he can't lift it up. He's no longer worthy. And the way he fights Iron Man, the same concept. He sends his suit back to Earth, reroutes it back to Earth. He ends up incapacitating all the heroes. And what I didn't mention is that there's this other villain named Dr. Midas who wants to have all this power. He wants to have the Watcher's knowledge and power, but it's beyond any human mind can't comprehend it. And the reason why is because that's reserved for Nick Fury, because Nick Fury has to pay the debt of killing the Watcher. And the reason why he's killed the Watcher is because the Watcher set this up. he wanted Nick Fury to become the new Watcher. And he threatened to kill Nick Fury. He was channeling something from his aura. He was about to attack Nick Fury. And Nick Fury was, like, don't do this. I will kill you. And he put a bullet through his head. And so what ends up happening is when Dr. Midas was absorbed with all his power, he can't control it. He can't handle it. And he explodes. And Nick Fury ends up taking the new mantle as the Watcher. And it's to repay the debt after he's killed the Watcher, Uatu. So Nick Fury is the new Watcher, and Winter Soldier becomes the new man on the wall. So this book, that's the way the book ends. By the way. You also get to see other heroes in Original Sins, issues 1 through 5, to see their past that they didn't know about themselves revealed to them. It's a pretty cool concept that they touch on. But yeah, this is a really refreshing take for Marvel events. It's definitely keeps you on the edge of your seat while you're reading this. I wouldn't regret picking this up. I mean, it takes like this cosmic aspect, and yeah, definitely would recommend this. Pick it up. Jason Aaron.